The crowd, the cameras, even the world seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the moment she would finally reveal the truth. The girl's hands trembled as she clenched them at her sides, her gaze darting between Keanu and the expectant crowd. Her voice dropped to almost a whisper, but it was enough to keep everyone hanging on her every word. "The truth is," she said, pausing as if searching for the strength to continue, "you're connected to someone very important to me, someone I lost." Keena's expression shifted, the faintest flicker of recognition crossing his face, though he said nothing. The audience, now fully invested in the unfolding moment, buzzed with murmurs. What could she possibly mean? She continued, her voice raw with emotion. "My dad, he was your biggest fan. He used to tell me stories about you, how you inspired him, how he felt like you understood what it meant to keep going, no matter what life threw at you." Her words began to flow faster now, as though releasing them was both painful and freeing. When things got hard, he'd always say, "If Keanu can get through it, so can we." And then he got sick. The mention of her father's illness brought a heavy silence. Keenu's jaw tightened, his empathy evident as he took a small step toward her. The girl's voice wavered, tears streaming now. "Before he passed, he made me promise. Promise that if I ever got the chance, I'd tell you thank you. For everything." She swallowed hard, her voice cracking as she added, "But there's more. There's something he left for you." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Keanu looked genuinely stunned now, his composure beginning to slip. Whatever was coming next, it was clear no one, not even Keanu, was prepared for it. The girl reached into her bag, her hands trembling as she pulled out a carefully folded piece of paper. The crowd leaned in, the tension almost unbearable. She held it out to Keanu, her voice barely above a whisper. "This is from him. He wrote it for you before he passed." Keanu hesitated for a moment, visibly moved, before stepping forward and gently taking the letter. His hands, so steady before, now shook slightly as he unfolded the paper. The camera zoomed in, capturing every flicker of emotion as he began to read. His expression shifted from surprise to deep sorrow, then to something that looked like gratitude. The crowd remained silent, waiting for any sign of what was written. Keanu finally looked up, his voice thick with emotion as he addressed the girl. "Your father, he had a kindness and strength that remind me of someone I lost, too. Thank you for bringing this to me. It means more than I can say." But just as the emotional weight seemed to settle, the girl revealed the twist. "There's one last thing," she said, her voice steadier now. "He always believed you and I were meant to meet. Not just for this, but because he thought I could learn from you." Keena's eyes softened, and for a moment, he simply nodded. Then, in a move no one expected, he asked, "What's your name?" The girl told him, and Keanu smiled, a rare, genuine smile that lit up the entire red carpet. Let's make sure his belief wasn't in vain. As the crowd erupted in cheers and tears, it was clear that this wasn't just a chance meeting. It was the start of something extraordinary, a story that would continue beyond that unforgettable night. Keanu took a moment to thank the girl personally, his genuine warmth shining through. He assured her that her father's words would stay with him forever. The cameras caught every second of their heartfelt exchange, and the crowd could feel the weight of this deeply human moment. It wasn't about fame or spectacle anymore. It was about connection, about how lives intersect in the most unexpected ways. As the event resumed, Keanu made sure the girl stayed by his side for a while longer, introducing her to other guests and even taking a few pictures together. He told her, "Your dad would be proud of you. You kept your promise, and that takes courage." The girl's tears had turned into a bittersweet smile, the kind that comes when you've finally found closure. As the night ended, the girl walked away knowing she had honored her father in the best way possible. And Keanu, known for his humility and kindness, had once again proven why he's so beloved. This wasn't just a story about a celebrity encounter. It was a reminder of the power of kindness, the importance of promises, and how sometimes a single moment can change everything. The crowd buzzed with excitement as cameras flashed and fans screamed, hoping to catch a glimpse of Hollywood's most beloved star, Keanu Reeves. The red carpet was alive with glamour, celebrities posing for photos, and the occasional cheer for a lucky autograph. But then something completely unexpected happened. Out of nowhere, a young girl broke through the crowd barriers, her face a mixture of determination and nerves. The murmurs of the crowd turned into stunned silence as she ran straight toward Keanu. Security froze for a moment, unsure of how to react. But Keanu, ever the gentleman, turned to her with that signature calm and kind demeanor that has won hearts worldwide. What happened next left everyone speechless. The girl poured her heart out in a raw and emotional confession that no one saw coming. Not the fans, not the media, and maybe not even Keanu himself. Her words were powerful enough to bring the entire event to a halt. What did she say that made one of the world's biggest stars pause and completely shift the energy of the evening? Stay tuned to find out the incredible twist that unfolded on the red carpet that night. As the girl stood in front of Keanu, her voice trembled, but her eyes held a determination that couldn't be ignored. "I've waited my whole life for this moment," she began, her words carrying an intensity that made everyone lean in, desperate to hear more. Keanu, ever gracious, gave her his full attention, nodding gently as if to reassure her. The cameras zoomed in, capturing every detail: the girl's shaking hands, Keanu's calm yet curious expression, and the crowd, now completely silent, watching the moment unfold. Whispers rippled through the audience. Who was this girl? What could she possibly have to say to a man like Keanu Reeves that would bring the entire event to a standstill? As she continued, she revealed fragments of her story, a journey filled with challenges, hope, and an unlikely connection to the actor himself. Her words hinted at something deeply personal, something tied to a moment in her life that had shaped her forever. Yet she stopped short of revealing everything, leaving everyone on edge. Keanu's expression shifted, his usually composed demeanor breaking ever so slightly. Whatever this girl was about to say, it was clear it carried a weight that couldn't be ignored. The girl took a deep breath, glancing around at the sea of curious faces, before focusing back on Keanu. "You don't know me," she said, her voice growing steadier. "But you've changed my life in ways I can't even explain." Her words carried an intensity that held everyone captive. Keanu's kind eyes softened further, and for a moment, it felt like the entire world had stopped just to hear what she would say next. She began recounting her story, a difficult childhood filled with moments of feeling invisible, where every day felt like a battle to keep going. But then, one night, everything changed. A scene from one of Keanu's movies had struck a chord so deep that it stayed with her. "It wasn't just a movie," she said. "It was like someone finally understood what I was going through." As she spoke, the cameras captured the raw emotion in her voice. People in the crowd wiped away tears, while others whispered to each other, trying to piece together the connection. But this wasn't just about a movie. There was something bigger she hadn't said yet, something that seemed to weigh heavily on her. Keanu seemed to sense it, his calm presence inviting her to continue, even as the tension in the air grew thicker. The girl paused, her voice faltering for a moment as she seemed to wrestle with whether to share the rest. The crowd, now completely mesmerized, leaned forward as if their collective silence could urge her to go on. Even Keanu, typically reserved, appeared to hold his breath, his focus entirely on her. After that night, she continued, I started to see things differently. I started to believe maybe I could be more, do more, survive more. And it wasn't just your movie. It was asterisk you asterisk, the way you are, the way you treat people, how you carry yourself. It made me think, if you could go through your own pain and still give so much kindness to the world, then maybe I could too. Her words hung in the air, and for a second, it seemed like she might stop there. But then she added, her voice breaking, there's one more thing I need to tell you. Something I've been waiting years to say. Keanu's brow furrowed, his kind demeanor now laced with curiosity and concern. The girl glanced at the crowd nervously, the weight of whatever she was holding back visibly pressing down on her. Whatever it was, it felt enormous, life-changing.